Most people think they know what they want, but if you really observe closely, you'll see that their wants change with the weather, with the mood, or with someone else's Instagram post. One day they want to be a billionaire, next day they say they want to live a simple life in the mountains. One moment they say they want freedom, and the next they are begging for security. This confusion is not a fault in their desire, it is a lack of clarity. And this lack of clarity is what makes life seem so hard. Clarity is not just about making up your mind once, it is a continuous process of refining your vision. Just like a camera lens needs to be focused sharply to capture a beautiful image, your inner vision must be fine-tuned if you wish to manifest what you desire. If your mind is clouded with too many conflicting thoughts, your energy gets scattered, and when your energy is scattered, nothing significant happens. You must understand, your mind is a powerful instrument, more powerful than any machine man has ever created. But it is only useful when it knows what it is aiming at. If you're shooting arrows into the dark, how will you ever hit the target? The target must be clear, the arrow must be sharp, and you must be steady in your stance. This is how desire becomes a possibility, not just wishful thinking, but a focused and conscious process. Clarity means you have looked into yourself deeply enough to know what truly matters to you. Not what the world told you to want, not what your family expects, not what society has conditioned into you, but what you want from the depth of your being. If you don't know what you really want, the universe doesn't know either, because the universe is not listening to your words. It listens to the vibration of your intent. And if that intent is chaotic, the response will be chaos. To get what you want, the first thing is to cut through the noise of external influence. Too many people are trying to live other people's dreams. That's why there is so much restlessness and dissatisfaction. If you want to manifest, if you want life to respond to you, you must first be honest with yourself. Stop pretending. Drop the borrowed desires. If you're chasing something just because it looks good on someone else, you'll be exhausted before you even begin. Real clarity comes with inner stillness. Only when the water is still can you see the bottom. Only when the mind is quiet can the real longing reveal itself. Meditation is not a luxury here. It is essential. You don't sit in meditation to become spiritual or holy. You sit to see things clearly. You sit so that the dust of your thoughts settles and the mirror of your mind reflects the truth without distortion. Once there is clarity, there is no hesitation. Your actions become spontaneous, efficient, and purposeful. Most people waste years in hesitation, doubt, and overthinking, not because they are incapable, but because they don't know what they are aiming for. When you are clear, even a small step becomes powerful. When you are confused, even 100 steps take you nowhere. This is not about goal setting the way it's taught in business seminars. This is not a to-do list for success. This is about aligning your inner geometry in such a way that your entire system, physical, mental, emotional, and energetic, becomes one-pointed. That kind of clarity is a force. It cuts through resistance like a knife through butter. When you're clear, the path may not always be easy, but it will be direct. Obstacles may come, but you will not be shaken, because there is a fire inside, and that fire knows where to go. Without that fire, without that direction, you will simply drift. You may end up somewhere, but you won't know why you are there, and you won't feel fulfilled. Clarity also means saying no. Saying no to distractions, to temptations, to everything that does not align with your vision. This is not repression. This is precision. When an archer aims, he doesn't look at every leaf on every tree. He looks at the bullseye. That's all. Your attention must become like that. Undivided. And this kind of clarity is not harsh or aggressive. It is gentle but unwavering. It is like the gaze of a child who knows exactly which toy he wants. No confusion, no compromise, no debate. The universe loves that kind of clarity. It responds to it. Without clarity, you become a victim of circumstances. With clarity, when we talk about aligning thought, emotion, and energy, it's important to understand that human beings are not just physical bodies. We are a complex web of thoughts, emotions, and energy. Each of these dimensions is intricately connected, and when they are out of sync, the result is inefficiency, confusion, and a lack of progress. The key to manifesting anything in life lies in aligning these three forces in one unified direction. The first aspect of alignment is thought. Your thoughts are the seed of all creation. Whatever you think, you create. But most people's thoughts are not consciously chosen. They are reactive. Thoughts arise from past experiences, conditioning, and unconscious patterns. The mind can be like a storm, tossing you in various directions, and unless you gain control over it, you will never be able to direct your life where you want it to go. It's not about controlling every thought, but about learning to direct the focus of your mind. If your thoughts are scattered, you are sending conflicting signals to the universe. The universe responds to your intent, not to the random scattered noise of your mind. But thought alone is not enough. Thoughts have to be accompanied by emotion. Emotion is the fuel for action. It's what transforms an abstract idea into something that stirs your soul and drives you forward. When you align your thoughts with your emotions, you create a powerful current. Emotion without thought is like fire without purpose. It burns without direction. Thought without emotion is like a car with no gas. The emotional aspect is the energy behind the thought. It's what gives it movement and force. If your emotions are not aligned with your desires, you will find yourself stuck. For instance, you may intellectually understand that you want success, but if your emotional state is filled with doubt or fear, you will never take the necessary steps to achieve it. The next layer of alignment is energy. Everything in the universe, including our bodies, is made of energy. Our thoughts create energy and our emotions amplify it. But this energy can be blocked, scattered, or wasted if we are not consciously aware of it. The body itself can either be an obstacle or a tool for this energy to flow through. If you are in a constant state of stress, anxiety, or fatigue, your energy is being drained. If your body is not aligned, if it is full of tension, the energy cannot flow freely. This is why many people talk about feeling off or out of balance in life. They are not consciously managing the flow of energy in their body. The mind, emotions, and energy must be aligned and allowed to flow harmoniously through you. When all three aspects are working together, there is an incredible force at your disposal. Life begins to move with you, not against you. But alignment is not something that happens overnight. It's a process, a practice that requires awareness and consistency. It's like tuning an instrument. If you are playing music with a guitar that is out of tune, the sound is off. No matter how well you play, the discord will be felt. But once the guitar is in tune, every note flows effortlessly. Your mind, emotions, and energy must also be in tune to manifest what you want. This takes practice, discipline, and a commitment to self-awareness. In the beginning, it may feel challenging to keep your thoughts, emotions, and energy aligned, especially when external situations are pushing you in different directions. Life is often chaotic, and distractions are everywhere. But if you remain committed to the process, you will begin to notice that over time, alignment becomes more natural. When your thoughts are clear and focused, your emotions are positive and aligned with your desires, and your energy is in full flow, you create a magnetic force. This force is not just about attracting things to you, it's about being in the right state to recognize the opportunities that come your way. Most people miss these opportunities because their energy is scattered, their thoughts are unfocused, and their emotions are out of sync. They are not in a state to receive what is being offered. Alignment opens the door to a higher level of awareness. You see things differently, you feel things differently, and you act differently. Life begins to mirror the clarity of your intentions. Think about the moments in your life when you were fully aligned, when everything seemed to fall into place effortlessly. This is not a coincidence. When you are in alignment, the universe supports you. It is like you are tuning into the right frequency, and suddenly the world responds to you in the way you desire. When you live in alignment, you are no longer fighting life, you are moving with it. And this movement is what brings about transformation, not just in your external circumstances, but in your inner experience. This alignment brings peace, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. The practice of aligning thought, emotion, and energy is not just about achieving external goals. It's about creating a state of being that allows you to experience life in its fullest. When these three elements are aligned, you don't just get what you want. In life, there is something extraordinary about stillness. It's not about doing nothing. It's about creating the space for everything to fall into place. People often mistake activity for progress, thinking that if they keep moving and doing, they are somehow moving closer to their goals. The truth, however, is that excessive noise, whether in the mind, emotions, or environment, clouds your clarity. It pulls you away from your true path. Real progress comes from a deep internal stillness. A stillness that allows you to see things clearly, feel things deeply, and act with precision. When the water of your mind is disturbed, You cannot see the bottom, but when it is calm, everything is visible, and all possibilities become apparent. Stillness is not a passive state, it's an active presence. It's not about detaching from the world or retreating into silence, rather it's about engaging with life from a place of balance. If you are constantly in motion, running after one thing to the next, your mind is fragmented. Your thoughts, energy and emotions are scattered. How can you ever hope to manifest anything significant when you are not aligned with your own center? When you are constantly reacting to life instead of responding to it consciously, you lose your power. You lose your ability to choose. It's often said that stillness is the foundation of creation. Why is that? Because stillness is the space in which clarity emerges. It is the womb of creativity, the ground from which intention is born. In the world, we see constant movement, but most of it is shallow. People are constantly running, talking, accumulating, seeking. Yet in this rush, they miss what's essential. Real power lies in the pause, in the ability to step back, take a deep breath, and see things as they are. When you allow yourself the time and space for stillness, you tap into a deeper intelligence that guides your actions and decisions. In today's fast-paced world, the mind is constantly bombarded with information. Social media, news, work pressures, relationships, everything demands attention. This constant flow of information creates a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions, most of which are irrelevant or unimportant to your true desires. The more you engage with this noise, the more you become disconnected from your own essence. Your thoughts become cluttered, your emotions are amplified and erratic, and your energy is depleted. In this state, how can you possibly make clear decisions or align with your true purpose? When you make stillness a priority in your life, you begin to realize that it is not an absence of activity, but a clearing of the mind. It is a space of heightened awareness where you can observe your thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. The beauty of stillness is that it does not require you to forcefully shut out the world. Instead, it asks you to be fully present with it, without distraction. When you can be present with your thoughts without getting swept away by them, you become more aware of what is truly important. This awareness allows you to act with intention and precision, not out of reaction, but out of clarity. But stillness isn't just a mental state. It's something that must permeate every aspect of your being. Your body, your emotions and your energy must all be in sync with this state of inner peace. Many people talk about wanting peace in their lives, but they do not realize that peace is not something that can be sought externally. It is something that must arise from within. If your body is tense and restless, if your emotions are in constant upheaval, if your energy is erratic, you cannot experience true peace. Stillness must be embodied, not just conceptualized. You must find stillness in your breath, in your posture, and in your actions. When you are physically relaxed and emotionally grounded, the mental turbulence dissipates naturally. The practice of stillness is also about learning to let go, letting go of unnecessary worries, distractions, and attachments. When you hold on to things too tightly, when you try to control every outcome, you create resistance. Resistance is the opposite of flow. When you let go, you open yourself to life's natural rhythm. You stop forcing things to happen and allow them to unfold in their own time. This does not mean you stop working toward your goals, but rather you stop obsessing over them. You stop needing them to happen in a particular way or by a particular time. You allow life to bring you what you need, and in that surrender, there is great power. Another important aspect of stillness is the ability to simply be. In our modern world, we have become so accustomed to being busy that we have forgotten how to just be with ourselves. We are constantly doing, achieving, accumulating, but in the process, we lose touch with the present moment. We are either lost in the past or anxiously anticipating the future, and we miss the beauty of the now. Stillness is about reclaiming the present moment and allowing yourself to fully experience it. When you are fully present, you become one with the flow of life. You are not resisting it, you are participating in it. This is when true creation takes place. When you are in harmony with the present moment, not fighting against it. Stillness is also about detaching from external outcomes. Many people live their lives in pursuit of certain goals or material achievements, believing that happiness or fulfillment will come when they achieve them. However, in the process of striving, they forget to enjoy the journey. The beauty of life is not just in reaching the destination, but in experiencing every step. along the way. Desire is often misunderstood. Many people think that desire is something to be avoided or suppressed. Spiritual teachings, self-help books, and even society at large often talk about how we must let go of desires to find peace or enlightenment. But this is not the full picture. Desire in itself is not the problem. Desire is a force of creation. It is what drives human beings to innovate, to grow, to evolve. Without desire, nothing in this world would have been achieved. The problem is not in desire, but in the nature of your desires and the way they govern your life. To understand how to get what you want, you must first understand the difference between healthy desire and unhealthy desire. Unhealthy desires are born from a place of lack, fear, and insecurity. These are the desires that never truly satisfy you, no matter how much you achieve. They are the desires that make you feel incomplete, unfulfilled, and always yearning for more. They are the desires that keep you chasing external things in an attempt to fill a void inside. This kind of desire keeps you trapped in an endless cycle of wanting and never truly attaining peace. On the other hand, healthy desire arises from a place of wholeness. Healthy desire is not born out of lack, but out of the fullness of who you are. It's not about seeking something to fill an emptiness. It's about seeking something that allows you to express your full potential. It is a desire that aligns with your true nature and purpose. It pulls you forward, guides you, and motivates you to become more of who you are. Healthy desire is not about external validation, status, or material gain. It's about growth, contribution, and fulfillment. The key to mastering desire is to shift from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. When you approach life from a sense of abundance, your desires are not born out of need or fear. They are born from a place of excitement, curiosity, and possibility. You want to grow not because you are missing something, but because there is so much more within you waiting to be expressed. This shift in mindset changes everything. When you no longer approach life from a place of fear or scarcity, you open yourself to the fullness of what the universe has to offer. One of the most powerful aspects of healthy desire is that it aligns with your deeper purpose. When your desires are connected to your purpose, they become a driving force that guides you not just in achieving material goals, but in shaping the kind of person you wish to become. When your desire is aligned with your purpose, you are not just seeking external outcomes, you are transforming yourself in the process. This kind of desire does not lead to emptiness, but to fulfillment. It does not drain you, it fuels you. But there is something equally important to understand about desire, the ability to detach from the outcome. Many people get caught up in their desires, so much so that they become obsessed with the outcome. They think that their happiness, their sense of fulfillment, their sense of self-worth depends entirely on achieving what they desire. And while pursuing your desires with intensity and passion is essential, it is just as important to remain unattached to the outcome. This does not mean you don't care about the result. It means that your sense of well-being is not tied to whether or not you achieve the goal. When you are too attached to the outcome, you create resistance. You become anxious, fearful, and frustrated if things don't unfold the way you imagined. You become focused on the end result rather than the process. The moment you let go of the attachment to the outcome, you free yourself from this resistance. You allow yourself to be fully engaged in the present moment, knowing that whatever comes, comes, and whatever doesn't come, doesn't come. When you detach from the outcome, you create space for the universe to bring you what is truly best for you, something that may be even more aligned with your growth than what you originally desired. Another important aspect of desire is knowing when to act and when to surrender. Desire is not about pushing or forcing things into existence. It's about acting from a place of clarity and confidence, but also surrendering to the flow of life. When you are clear about what you want and you feel that it aligns with your deeper purpose, you must act with all your energy, but without force. You must let go of the need to control every aspect of the process. Trust that what is meant for you will come to you, but only when you allow it to. When desire is in balance, it creates a beautiful synergy between the internal and the external. It connects your inner vision with the outer world and allows you to shape your reality with intention. Desire, when aligned with your true self, becomes the fuel that propels you forward, not as a desperate chase for something external, but as a joyful dance with life itself. It becomes the wind in your sails, not a heavy burden to bear. To get what you want, you must first master your desires. You must understand that desire is a tool, not a master. It can either lead you to greatness or keep you in a state of perpetual longing. The difference is in the alignment of that desire with your true self, your purpose, and your deeper understanding of life. When your desires are clear, pure, and aligned with your purpose, they will always lead you to where you need to be. When they are rooted in fear or lack, they will. When you are intensely focused on something, when your whole being is committed to it, you become unstoppable. This intensity is not the same as desperation or obsession. Intensity comes from a deep inner alignment, where you are not forcing things to happen, but you are working with everything you have toward a clear and conscious goal. It is an energy that emanates from within and pushes you to take purposeful, deliberate action. When you are intense, you are not distracted by fleeting emotions or temporary setbacks. You are moving forward with clarity and purpose, and nothing can deter you from that path. In the modern world, many people mistake busyness for intensity. They think that by being busy, they are being productive. But true intensity does not come from doing more. It comes from doing less, but with greater focus and energy. Most people live in a constant state of distraction. Their attention pulled in multiple directions by the demands of life. They react to whatever comes their way without ever truly deciding what it is they want to focus on. This lack of direction drains their energy, leaving them feeling scattered and unproductive. Real intensity is about cutting through the noise and dedicating yourself to what truly matters. When you work with intensity, you are not wasting time on trivial matters. You are fully engaged in every moment, in every task, giving it your full attention and energy. Whether it's a small task or a big project, you approach it with the same level of focus and enthusiasm. This level of engagement makes all the difference. It's the difference between someone who merely goes through the motions and someone who is creating something significant. The person who is truly intense will put their heart and soul into whatever they are doing. The quality of their work is a reflection of their commitment and their drive. Intensity is also about overcoming inertia. The hardest part of any task is often simply getting started. Most people waste time procrastinating, making excuses, or simply lacking the energy to move forward. They wait for the perfect moment or for motivation to strike. But intensity is about disregarding these excuses and simply acting. It's about setting a clear intention and then taking immediate steps to move toward it. No matter how small they might seem, the moment you begin, the momentum builds. And once you are in motion, you will find that it becomes easier to keep going. Action breeds energy, and energy breeds more action. One of the most powerful aspects of intensity is its ability to push you past limitations. When you are intense, you do not settle for mediocrity. You refuse to accept the ordinary or the acceptable. You aim for excellence, not because you are trying to impress others, but because you know what you are capable of and you want to see just how far you can go. The person who works with intensity is constantly challenging themselves, breaking through their comfort zones, and expanding their capabilities. They push past fear, doubt, and obstacles, not because they do not exist, but because they refuse to let them stop them. Intensity also has a way of amplifying your impact. When you approach something with genuine passion and intensity, it is impossible for others not to notice. Your energy is contagious. It inspires people around you to elevate their own energy, their own actions. Intensity is a magnet. It drops people, opportunities, and resources to you. This is not about manipulating others or forcing things to happen. It is about embodying such a powerful energy that the universe itself responds in kind. However, intensity does not mean working non-stop without rest. True intensity is balanced by moments of rest and reflection. Intensity is not about being constantly on the go. It is about being fully engaged in each moment, knowing when to act and when to pause. It's about understanding that the work you do is not just physical, but mental, emotional, and spiritual as well. To maintain intensity over the long term, you must take care of your mind and body. As you age, your body more fits with your mind. You must recharge and refocus so that when you do act, you do so with renewed energy and clarity. When you act with intensity, there is no room for distraction. You do not waste time worrying about what other people think or about the possibility of failure. Your focus is so sharp that nothing else matters. In this state, you will often find that obstacles that once seemed insurmountable no longer have the same power over you. You become resilient. You become resourceful. You tap into a reservoir of creativity and determination that you may not have known existed. One of the keys to maintaining intensity is knowing your why. When you are clear about why you are doing something, when your actions are aligned with your purpose, intensity becomes effortless. It's not a forceful drive that drains you, it's an empowering energy that fuels you. When you begin to understand that every moment in life is a choice, you start to realize the immense power you hold. Most people go through life unconsciously reacting to what happens around them. They let external circumstances, other people's opinions, and the flow of time dictate their actions and decisions. But true mastery comes when you understand that you are not at the mercy of life. You are the creator of it. The moment you embrace the idea that every single moment is a choice, you shift from being a passive participant to an active creator. This ability to make conscious choices begins with awareness. Most people are unaware of how much they are influenced by their environment, by their past, or by the opinions of others. The first step in taking control of your life is to wake up to this fact. You must become aware of the thoughts and emotions that are driving your actions. Are they coming from a place of fear? Are they based on past experiences or societal conditioning? Are they truly your own, or are they the result of unconscious patterns? When you bring awareness to these forces, you gain the ability to choose otherwise. This is where personal responsibility comes into play. Responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that happens in your life. It simply means recognizing that you have the power to choose your response to any given situation. It's about realizing that while you may not be able to control what happens to you, you can always control how you react. You can choose to see obstacles as opportunities, challenges as lessons, and setbacks as temporary. When you take full responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you step into your power. You stop being a victim of life and start becoming the architect of your own destiny. One of the most powerful aspects of conscious choice is the ability to choose your thoughts. Your thoughts are the foundation of your reality. What you think shapes how you feel, and how you feel shapes how you act. If you constantly think thoughts of fear, doubt, or negativity, you will attract circumstances that reflect those thoughts. But if you consciously choose thoughts of possibility, empowerment, and growth, you will begin to shift your reality in a positive direction. This doesn't mean that everything will magically change overnight, but with consistent effort, you will start to notice that the world around you begins to shift. Similarly, your emotions are a direct reflection of the thoughts you choose to engage with. Emotions are not something that happened to you, they are the result of the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. For example, if you focus on thoughts of gratitude and love, your emotions will naturally align with those thoughts. If you focus on thoughts of fear or anger, your emotions will align with those as well. The key is to recognize that emotions are a response, not a cause. By changing your thoughts, you can change your emotional state. And by changing your emotional state, you can change the energy you bring to every situation. The next level of conscious choice is choosing your actions. Thoughts and emotions may drive you, but your actions are what determine the course of your life. If you want to achieve something, it is not enough to just think about it or feel strongly about it. You must take deliberate, purposeful action toward your goal. This means making choices every day that align with your desires. Number 1, live happier with Durga. Means breaking down your goals into actionable steps and then consistently taking those steps no matter how small they may seem. The power of consistent action cannot be overstated. Every choice you make, every action you take brings you closer to your vision. However, conscious choice is not just about doing, it's about being. It's about choosing the energy, the mindset, and the attitude with which you approach every situation. If you go through life reacting to every situation, you are giving up your power. You are letting life dictate your mood, your energy, and your actions. But when you approach life consciously, you choose the energy you bring to every interaction. You choose the attitude you bring to every challenge. This creates a sense of control and calm, no matter what external circumstances you face. The ability to choose your response to life's ups and downs gives you an incredible sense of inner peace and strength. What happens when you begin to make conscious choices every day is that you begin to align more and more with your true self. The choices you make reflect your values, your purpose, and your deepest desires. When your actions are in alignment with who you truly are, life flows effortlessly. You stop forcing things and start attracting them. You stop chasing after what you think you need and start living from a place of abundance. You stop reacting to the world and start creating it. Ultimately, conscious choice is about being present in the moment and making decisions from a place of clarity. It's about choosing with intention rather than letting life unfold passively. Every choice you make, whether small or large, shapes the course of your life, and when you start to make those choices consciously, you begin to direct your life toward the outcomes you desire.